I'm about to ask the question that all of us want to know. What is the secret? what is the secret? Hey, hi guys, what's popping? Today I have Yoshi and Rabia, who are I want to say the most iconic high school relationship. And like now that we're like 2 years out of high school, like I have a lot of questions. I was, thinking to myself a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, are high school relationships overrated? Like I was in two of them, but you guys have managed to surpass the whole ideal of like an expiration date, essentially. So I guess to start this video off, do you believe high school relationships are overrated?
Okay, well, I guess I'll start.
You can start. That's how we work usually.
I would say yes. I would say they're overrated, which is weird because we're like Echo said, we're dating and we've been dating since high school. But I would still say it's overrated because there's so much pressure on everybody in high school to like have a relationship just for the sake of it, like just as a status symbol, like, oh, I'm in a relationship, so I'm a normal human being, kind of thing. And it's not actually about having a healthy relationship with your partner. It's just for the sake of it.
I'm just gonna kind of like, I agree. No, yeah, I agree, and yeah, I think they're overrated. I think that like there's not because I think that we're overrated, but because I think that there are societal pressures in place for like it's seen as like an integral part of the high school experience to have gone through a relationship.
Like you can't go through 4 years of high school without having a partner. Like you'll be looked down upon. People will think you're weird or that there's something wrong with you because nobody likes you, kind of thing. And that's what I think high school relationships are about. They're more about wanting to be liked and not really about liking another person.
Like consistent validation, essentially.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Okay. So, if that being said, how did you guys, start your relationship? Like, did any of those ideals come about as you guys expanded or like started to like take this like to love, essentially?
Why did we start dating
Why
initially?
did we start dating?
Well, I just had a crush on you. That's what it was.
we just really liked each other, and it wasn't like.
But it was really superficial to start. Like let's not kid ourselves. I just liked the way he looked, and that was basically it for all of grade 9, probably even grade 10. But then, as we got older, grade 11, grade 12, we started thinking about what's gonna happen after this. Like, yeah, I'm dating you, and it's awesome. We go up like every Sunday for food, but like what is it supposed to turn into? Like are we gonna get married one day? Like is this, we started thinking about the serious like logical progression of what happens next after you have a crush on someone. How did we go from like to love? I guess we just grew up.
We just go, period.
It became less of like dating because like that's the thing to do. Like it became less like I really like the fact that I'm dating, and more I really like the fact that I'm dating this person. Like it gradually.
Yeah, it became more about you, and I started thinking more about you and my everyday actions and my thoughts, and it eventually became like we just kind of became a unit, and we became inseparable. And I guess that's when the love started, and it wasn't just about infatuation anymore.
Okay. So with that being said, did your relationship in high school, from your opinion, affect your social groups and the way that you like made other friends?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Like I feel like I had that whole like that division between like kind of like having friends and also having a girlfriend never actually entered my mind. Like it never felt like a part of the equation. I think just naturally we just kind of became increasingly our own kind of island. But
I think that's also a bad thing. Like I feel like high school is a time for like expanding your social network, because you go from being in middle school and having like your best friend at recess to like actually being a human, and that high school is your first kind of flavor of that, right? You meet, it's like a mixing pot of like a bunch of different people with different lived experience, versus middle school is kind of like everyone's like from the same place. But yeah, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so that's a bad thing, that we kind of became exclusive and like you said, like we're on our own island. I feel like that probably wouldn't have happened had we met in university.
Agreed.
So that kind of circles back to my last point about how high school relationships are overrated, because they can lead you to growing together. It's kind of like we're two little seedlings that were in one pot, and we were really restricted to just that one pot. So now we've grown around each other instead of growing into like two separate flowers.
Entities. So like I could just imagine that like there was not a time where where you could approach someone and they weren't asking you guys individually about each other. You know what I mean? Rabia, where's Yoshi today? Yoshi, where's Rabia today? Like all the time, right?
I feel like sorry to just jump in right away, but I feel like I was always the one receiving that kind of treatment. Like everybody in high school, even the teachers would be like, oh, Yoshi didn't show up to school today. Where is he? I'm like, fuck if I know. I mean, I know, but still, like
you're not his mom, you're not his keeper. Like I know that was weird.
I'm not his mom, I'm not his keeper. Exactly.
Do you feel like there was a
probably
reason for
what
that?
contributed to the strain I had with like the becoming an island thing? Because I feel like everybody was always talking about him, so why don't I just always talk to him? You know, it's like, I mean, it's totally because of like it's sexist. Right? It kind of boils down to the gender roles. Like I'm supposed to look after him. I'm supposed to provide for him. I'm supposed to, you know, like know everything about his whereabouts. He can be off in the clouds, and I'm the one that has to have everything together. Like
I think we've had this conversation actually, and like we came to the conclusion that like it wasn't actually that big a part of my high school experience being asked about her, but like there was definitely a discrepancy. And
like he wasn't known as Rabia's girlfriend, but I was known as Yoshi's girlfriend, right? It was like
I know my grade 9 relationship versus my grade 12 relationship. I had a whole different idea of what respect looked like and the things I needed and things that I needed to ask for, like communication. If I had the mindset of my grade 9 relationship in my grade 12 one, I would never be in a relationship, I feel. So like I just want to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Like from grade 9 to now, like was there a transition?
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, there was a transition definitely in the way that we handle disagreements, I guess. That's where I've seen like the most transformation. Absolutely, actually. Yeah. Because I feel like in grade 9 and grade 10, it would be me pointing out a thing that you did that I didn't like, and then you would have to fix yourself. But
period.
Yeah, but now there's like a gray area, and it's not just me pointing out things that I don't like about you, because that's really horrible. Now that I think about it, right? It's more about like us growing together and like something like where can we meet in the middle?
It's us against the world.
Yeah, exactly. It's us against this problem, not this problem is gonna make or break us, kind of thing.
Yeah, yes. And I feel like I can definitely vouch for the communication aspect, like getting much better.
Oh yeah.
I know her emotions like so well, so well, right? Like I can read you like way better than I could in grade 9. So that definitely helps kind of gauge how she's feeling, and like I don't say anything that like I'll regret later. Like, possibly really callous. But like also in grade 9, like we dealt with like the first time we came across conflict, but we each we didn't communicate at all. In fact, we both mutually like ignored each other for a month is what happened. And that we now, like whenever we have a slight problem, it helps that we live with each other, so like the line of communication is always open, but we kind of talk, like we each give our side immediately, and we usually like meet in the middle, which is the communication's so much better, and we just know each other better, so it's we're more
it lets you both win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no one ever walks out of the conversation thinking that, oh, I was wrong and they were right, kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's always
no, I love that. That's extremely healthy. I could bathe in you guys' essence. Like I feel like that should be something that should honestly be taught throughout like a lot of relationships in general. Like I know couples who are in their like 40s still struggling with that same ideal, and that just comes with growth, right?
Look how she lights up the sky.
I want to know your high school song. Like, if you were to encompass it, your high school love song, what would it be? Tell the
High
public.
school love song.
High school love song.
High school love song.
What's a high school love song?
But yeah. Well, there's a story with this song too, actually.
Yeah,
So
feel
do you
free to
want to tell a
share.
story?
Sure, I'll tell a story. So one day we were at a park and we were hanging out. It was Dufferin Grove Park, and we went like there's like this abandoned fire pit in Dufferin Grove, and yeah, like I had my phone and we decided that we wanted to slow dance, and
Because we were practicing for prom.
we were practicing for prom. That's the
idiots
contest. Yeah,
when they play slow dance.
we were
That's so fun.
terrified. And so yeah, like I pulled out my playlist, and the song "It Never Entered My Mind" by Miles Davis came on, and it started raining, and
it was like literally like the movies.
It was the most.
I'm
it was
not
the
kidding
most
you. We
romantic,
were slow dancing in the rain at a
possible.
park.
It was everything. It was like it was.
And we both started crying,
Yeah.
and we couldn't tell if it was tears or the rain, and it was like.
I'm gonna cry. That's so cute. Okay, now
Yeah,
kiss.
definitely gonna be a wedding song.
My belle Evangeline.
What was your guys' worst fight? Like, what was that about?
Oh, what was our worst fight? I remember a lot of little fights. Like I remember one time I fought with you. It wasn't really a fight. It was just me saying, like what I was saying before. Was
Heated
like,
disagreement.
I didn't like it. You hurt my feelings. It was we were on a trip in grade 10, and there was an aspect of that trip where you had to go on this huge swing, and I don't like heights, and I don't like accelerating. Like it just makes my body feel weird. I don't know. I hate roller coasters.
You're so tall.
No, but yeah. So I said that. So we were partners for the swing, and I didn't want to go high because he asked the guy that was swinging us asked if we wanted to go high or not. I said no because I'm afraid. And then Yoshi says, "Can I go again with someone who actually wants to ride the ride?" And I was like.
Yeah, that
I'm scared. Like I was in grade 10. I don't know what my priorities were, but it was a big deal for me for other people to not know that I was scared.
Is that our biggest crisis?
Is that our
biggest ever crisis?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, that's definitely a big one.
That's
I think we broke up after that for like a day. And it sounds so stupid and trivial now.
For like a day.
I know.
For the subway
No,
ride.
I love that. The subway. The 50 minutes it took to get from like Islington to Kennedy was just that was the longest one. Yeah. Speaking about like breakups and stuff, did you you know, I guess within the heat of the moment it kind of made sense for like your emotions to take you to that extent of like I'm done with you ideally. But you know, I talked to like a lot of couples and like I've evaluated my own relationships and the whole ideas of breaks versus breakups. Do you guys feel like they're like essential, needed, necessary, like
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think that I like that you draw a distinction between breaks and breakups. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone making that distinction before, so kudos to you, or maybe I just never heard of it. But yeah, no, I love that because breakups feel like, so my understanding is that breakups are like the final goodbye forever, we're done. And a break is just like a temporary, give me space, I want to think.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's really healthy, and if I think about it, that's what we do every time.
That's what we do every time.
Yeah, so breaks over breakups, but eventually, like if you give your partner a lot of breaks and you're noticing a pattern with your breaks, then you know it's time to maybe think about if those breaks should escalate to a breakup.
Yeah, to reevaluate it for sure. Like absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree that pretty much every time we've like kind of looked back on it like, oh yeah, we broke up for 2 hours that time, we broke up for 1 hour that time.
Now we're like, oh yeah, it wasn't a breakup because we're still together.
Yeah.
So how
together, yes.
Yeah, and it was actually even framed like a break. It was framed like we need to think this thing over.
Yeah.
Let us break up until we finish thinking this thing over, and it wouldn't take us very long to think it over.
Yeah.
But
breaks.
Yeah. Okay.
Take breaks. Being in a relationship is an active thing, right? It's not passivity, it's an activity. So just like running is an activity.
I like that.
You take breaks. Well, you take breaks when you run, right? So take breaks when you're actively being a partner. to your partner.
Yes. Yeah. That's what completely goes underrated too. This whole idea of like, no, like if we take a break, that's gonna lead to a breakup. And I was like, well, if you're having a toxic relationship, that's probably what's gonna happen. Yes. But like to take breaks and like become an individual is so key and essential to like even being like in philosophy we call it like a we. Because like you need both entities to be singular, even become a pair. So with that being said, like how was your development stage into individuality within your relationship at high school? Like, do you feel like you guys were able to grow separately?
I guess I was saying this like a little bit before that I feel like we didn't grow separately. We definitely grew together.
Yeah, we did.
Because we met when we were so young. Like I was 14, he was 14. That's definitely a developmental age. Your prefrontal cortex isn't developed until you're like 25. So technically we're still growing.
Yeah.
And we haven't been apart. But I guess so you're saying that you can be together with someone but still grow as individuals.
Yeah, we definitely like allow each other to kind of express ourselves individually and like.
That's right. Oh, I guess so. Leaving room for each other to express each other.
Yes.
Express ourselves. And what else would you say that would contribute to our individual growth?
Well, what else would contribute to our? Well, yeah, like we definitely like we allow the other, like we're fully supportive. Like we're both going down different paths like in life right now.
Yeah.
And like we're both fully supportive of that, and we're both fully.
I would actually say that helped. Like the going separate ways, kind of going into different career paths helped me and him and you both kind of grow individually, because we're not doing the same thing. Because we would get pretty competitive when we were doing the same. Because we both played the same instrument at ESA.
Competitive, like kind of insinuates that it was ever like a competition, like but yeah.
I'm about to ask the question that all of us want to know. What is the secret? What is the secret? Because I feel like a lot of high school relationships, as we're gonna get into a game later, a couple people have mentioned to me that they feel like they have a built-in expiration date. So with that being said, y'all exceeded that 4-year like ideal of an expiration date. So what is your secret?
Well,
is there a secret?
That expiration date was there for us, actually.
Yeah,
it was there for us because we thought there was absolutely no way we could possibly. We thought it was going to be a long distance thing once we went to university. We thought that she would go to Waterloo or McGill or something, or like it didn't seem likely at some point or even possible that we'd both end up at U of T.
So we talked about it. Is the important thing. I guess that's a secret. Just talking about your deepest, darkest fears. Like if your fear is that, oh, we're dating now, because this was one of my fears, right? In grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, even grade 12, I was like, what's the point in dating if we're just going to break up when we go to different universities?
Yeah.
Like there's no way we can make it work. Long distance, like, yeah, people make it work, but is it ideal? No. I'm a touchy-feely person. Like I need a person in front of me, beside me. Yeah, so but I talked about those fears with him, and he quelled them, right? Like he I don't know how he did it, but he did.
I'm practicing hypnosis. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But that explains it. But yeah, I guess the secret is if you don't feel like you can talk about your deepest, darkest fears to your partner, then your relationship is going to expire.
Agreed. And like I think that, like just going back to communication, I think that at some point we felt that there wasn't a single thing we didn't know about the other person, because we tried our best throughout the entirety of our relationship to just communicate everything we thought the other person didn't know that was,
Oh yeah, there's a lot of those. Actually, maybe that's worth sharing.
That one?
Okay, well, let me think about this.
Basically,
how should we word this? Okay. Basically, there were a lot of moments in our relationship where like we thought we knew everything about each other, and then we both like unleashed a can of worms, and it was like, actually there's all of this that you didn't know. That's a huge big identity thing. So again, it just goes back to identity and making sure that you know who your partner is down to the like deepest, darkest pits of their soul,
Like, yes, absolutely. I definitely think that when it comes to like, because my ideals of love happen to be, if you are with someone and feel like you know them, you don't, because it's forever changing and you're forever growing within each other, and like there's always something new to learn. Like oh, she likes coffee on Mondays, but not on Wednesdays. I did not think that was possible. Even like the minor details, like his boxers are green.
Yeah.
He doesn't like green though. Like it's just like different things like that like dictate and like change it over time. And I think it's incredible to think that, you know, that like you could think you know someone like right down to like their final tears, and there's still so much to like unveil. It's like an ongoing chapter book, and I think that's like incredible, especially throughout the experiences, right? Do you regret being in a high school relationship? Like do you kind of wish you saw your life without it?
We
Rabia looking at Yoshi like, tell her the truth.
No, we've had this thing where we've wondered whether or not, like, the high emphasis on the high school part of that, like we've wondered whether or not if we dated at this point, if we started dating at this point, would we still be going today? And we've tended to kind of, like, the consensus we've come to is we think that we kind of started dating at a perfect time in our lives for it to thrive for this long.
But I think the question is not necessarily about whether or not we met in high school is the thing that made us start dating. I think the question is more like, do you ever imagine like what your life would be like had we not dated at all? Like if we never met me.
It's become such, like, you've become such an integral and like central part of the way I see myself and the way my life has gone for the last 6 years. That that thought doesn't really cross my mind. I don't really speculate like that, to be honest. I might speak for myself.
Maybe I'll just speculate right now because it also doesn't cross my mind. I don't really think about what life would be like without him because that's a devastating thought for me.
Yeah, it is.
But if I were to consider it, the logistics of it, well, who would I be?
Yeah, exactly. Like we become so like so many part of like this relationship, and like I think we think like when it started is that we've kind of adopted so many aspects of each other's personality.
Yes.
Like so many of my tendencies are now tendencies she has.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
isn't that the funniest thing? Like, do you guys agree with this notion? I love seeing this little quote everywhere, but they say that couples who date for a long time start to look like each other. Do you guys like?
I don't think we look like each other. I don't think so.
Let us know down below, guys.
Yeah. Wait, Yoshi, put your face here.
Yes.
Do we look like each other? I don't know.
Let's talk a little bit about differences real quick. Do you guys think there's a difference between love in high school versus love outside of high school?
Ooh.
Oh, like when people say like, oh, that's just puppy love. I feel like it's a bit condescending because I don't think that just because two people are young that they can't experience real emotions, and love is a real emotion.
I find that weird, actually, like oddly contradictory, that there's this kind of societal thing, this like kind of idea that you're gonna have a relationship in high school. It's like, oh, you gotta have a relationship in high school, but at the same time there's also this expectation that it's gonna fail and it's gonna make you miserable. And
the double standard there with like everybody has to be in a relationship, but you guys aren't actually experiencing real love.
It's like you gotta do it, but it's gonna
not
suck.
For real.
It's like,
have you experienced any like doubters? Like has any like outside doubt come into your relationship at all? And has it affected you guys' like way of looking at each other?
Yeah, like my entire family was like, no, no relationships, no dating. But I feel like that was like a cultural thing, a generational thing, an abusive parenting. So that's definitely the external pressure.
Yeah.
But from the workplace, I've only ever seen like people respond in ways that's like, oh, that's so cute, and not really like.
Yeah, cheer it on in a way at all, or support it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I feel like I personally feel like a bit of that comes from like jealousy and like people's own generational like upbringings.
Yeah.
Like I know, for example, my mom was very much like, you know, do what you got to do, but school comes first. And my dad was like, you can only date when you're 40 and married. And I was like,
and married?
And married.
Yeah, but like it just to think about the different perspectives and how that like played a part. Like I could definitely like see and understand like why those certain things would like change the way like you'd go about it. Has any of that self-doubt from like your parents made you rethink your relationship at all?
It never made me rethink my relationship. It only encouraged me actually
Yeah.
to go out and do it
harder.
behind their backs.
There were times where it felt uncertain that we would be able to go on because there were just
so much pressure from
so
my
much
parents
pressure
to stop dating.
Yeah, not just, and it's not like the pressure where like you guys shouldn't date. It's pressure where it's like you can't date, and it's like
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't just like, it was not only that me and him wouldn't be good together, it's that I'm not allowed to date at all kind of thing.
And don't we just love rebellion?
Yeah,
like,
spite is like the best motivator. Maybe the
So
secret
good.
to our relationship is spite.
Might just be
Spite.
spite.
You know,
Might
like
just
all
be-
the haters or whatever saying that, oh, they're gonna break up or whatever. It's like, it's just like, do
Yeah.
it to spite them.
Yeah, just to spite the haters.
So like what does love mean to you guys?
Oh,
Oh, what does
that
love
question.
mean? What is love? It won't hurt me.
Just that song.
Yeah,
that's what it means. That's what it.
What's love to you?
Love to me. Love to me is you. Like I can't like everything we've kind of experienced and like that communication, that trust, just the feeling that love is the feeling that love should be unwavering, right? Love is the feeling where like I'm gonna have a bad day, I'm gonna feel shitty, I'm gonna be like, man, like this sucks, like how am I gonna get out of this? And then she's gonna be here, and then that's just gonna it sounds sounds cliche, but it's gonna go away. That's all gonna wash away. And,
Absolutely.
yeah, she makes me feel like I always feel like it's there, and I always feel like I can. Love also, like I say communication a lot, but love also, like if anything's troubling me and if I feel like I can't talk with it, like if normally I wouldn't be able to talk about it with anyone, I know I can talk about everything with her, and I know it's always gonna be like beneficial, and I know it's always gonna be healing, and I know it's always gonna, yeah. And she values everything. Listening too, she values everything I say. I value everything she has to say, and yeah, we actively listen to each other, which I think is pretty key in how we've like sustained this for so long.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I guess love is more, so you talk about the way that you discuss love is about like, it's less of a feeling for you than it is like an activity or an action,
it's a lifestyle.
or a lifestyle.
Yes.
But for me, love is like a big feeling aspect to it.
Yeah,
Right? Love is like a blanket that's like your favorite blanket, and you can always go to it when like when you feel distressed, when you feel upset. It's like your favorite stuffy from when you were a kid. It's like your just familiarity that's love for me. It feels like it blurs the line between best friend, family, it's just home too. It's just comfort, it's like ultimate comfort.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I just have to say, like, I love the way y'all look at each other. Like, ever since grade 9, I was like, if I don't get someone to look at me like that, it's not love. Like, look a bit about self-doubt, right? I wanted to know, was there anyone who like had a crush on the other? And I was like, oh, well, Rabia, I'm gonna steal Yoshi from you. Yoshi, I'm gonna steal Rabia from you. Like, was there any of that, like, high school movie controversy?
Was there high school movie controversy?
Or conflict,
There's been a lot subsequently. Like it's always been like a creepy guy who's like hitting on me and making me feel really uncomfortable, and then I complain about it, and it's never been like, oh, I'm jealous that somebody likes you. It's always just been like, I'm scared for your safety because that guy's creeping me out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
These guys are so scummy and gross that I could never feel jealous. I more like wanted to like.
I don't think any girl has ever made me feel threatened, like that they were gonna try to steal my man or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he only loves me, baby. That's some self-confidence.
No, I feel like girls don't do that. Like, I feel like the idea of the homewrecker is like a myth just to like villainize women. Like, have you met a homewrecker in your life?
I like to beg to differ. Because I feel like I mean I can see what you're saying. I definitely see where, because like I feel like there's a lot of the time we talk about like attraction and being attracted to someone. Like I know my girlfriend is fine. You can tell me she's fine. However, you're not gonna get her the way I get her. Haha. Like that's just me. However, I've seen people who purposely, let's say, who purposely like try to create conflict within other people's relationship. Especially, I feel like no, I might be gonna put it in a box at the beginning of high school. Like some couples who are just a little more insecure and who are still like learning about their maturity will get someone and be like, oh, I saw him cheating, I saw her cheating, I saw them doing whatever, da 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 da. And then it starts little earthquakes within their relationship because they're still learning their own boundaries and stuff. And that's what I consider like Holly home wrecking. Because I think it's one thing for someone to come up to your partner, persuade them to like talk to you or be a little intimate with you or whatever, because like that is such a self, like I chose to cheat so I'm cheating ideal. And then others who intentionally try to set little bombs within your relationship just to spice things up. Like I know in my first real high school relationship, there was a lot of like, oh, like Echo's really flirtatious, I think you should watch out. And I was like,
wait, what?
This is why he finds me so charming. Like, what do you mean? Like, of course I'm flirtatious. He knew that when he was with me, like stuff like that. So like, I mean, like I'm happy that like no one's tried to like step in terms of like that toxicity.
No.
And like I'm really sorry that creepy men have like come to you on some I can change that, like let me be the one for you, like
so gross,
ridiculous.
It's so gross. The grossest example I can think of just off the top of my head is this guy at a bar that pulled his chair. Like me and my girl Rezo were out at a bar just having drinks after a really stressful midterm, and this guy literally pulls his table next to ours. He's with his friend, and then he's like, can I have your number? And I'm like, no, I have a boyfriend. He's like, how long have you guys been dating? I'm like, 6 years. And then he's like, yeah, I just got out of a 6-year relationship, they never last. I'm like, yeah, right, that's why you're at a bar. trying to pick me up, but
sounds like you were the problem, baby. Yeah, like so as you guys probably saw, I posted a bit of polls and like questionnaires on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Where people gave us answers to this question: are high school relationships overrated? So I'm gonna read a couple. Your answers are yay, nay, or like in the middle. Feel free to elaborate if you would like to. Okay. So Elizabeth.gs says, I don't necessarily think they're overrated. I do believe in a way they're needed. Do you believe high school relationships are needed, yay or nay?
Nay.
Yay.
Would you like to elaborate?
Which one?
You elaborate.
I mean, elaborate first. Well, for the reason that that double standard that like I guess kind of came up in the past exists. Like I don't, because society expects them to fizzle out at the same time, I don't think that everyone in high school should feel the pressure or the need that hence needed to enter up to force a high school relationship, because I feel like a lot of them do get forced. So yeah, I don't think they're needed. I think that what makes this one like what makes the ones that I feel last special is that they happened as like they happened organically. They feel more organic. So I think in my opinion they're not needed.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna change mine to in the middle, because the way I initially interpreted the question was the opinion is I thought that they were saying like, are high school relationships like needed in general? Like, are they important? Do they have a purpose, kind of thing? And yeah, they do. They can be like training you for when you have another future relationship or something.
Yeah.
Right. You definitely there are valuable skills that you get when you enter a relationship, and if that's in high school or university, it doesn't really matter. It's
still a lesson.
Still always something to learn.
Yes. Anonymous on Instagram says, no, I think they're a development stage and can be really great. Do you believe high school relationships are a development stage, yay or nay?
Yay.
Hashi Hawaya on Instagram says, as time grows, so do you. I feel like they're very suffocating in a different part of life. Do you believe high school relationships are suffocating, yay or nay?
Yes, they can be. They really, really can be suffocating. I'm not saying it was suffocating for us.
Oh, okay, yeah,
necessarily.
Sure.
I enjoyed you choking me out, period. I had a good time.
But Yeah, they definitely can be suffocating. Like I'm thinking of the general high school relationship. Like
Yeah.
you don't have a lot of room to grow because you're seeing the person every single day, 9 to 5, right?
Mhm.
It's like
I'm I can't really say I've observed that. I can't really say I've observed that.
fair.
I'm gonna keep my answer.
Fair.
Their first fight. Someone from Instagram says, yes, from personal experience, we put too much weight and expectation on high school relationships. Do you believe high school relationships have too much expectations and weight, yay or nay?
Yes, absolutely have too much expectation.
No, because my high school relationship shaped the person I've become. Yay or nay, do high school relationships shape the way you become as a person?
Oh no.
Yay.
Yeah.
Just like any other life-changing experience that you
Yeah.
go through when you're a teenager, right? A relationship's just another activity.
Yeah,
And doing that activity when you're a young child, like when you're in high school.
Yes, it ain't a passivity.
Mhm.
I just love that. I'm gonna use it on all my videos now. If you're not liking this video, that's a passivity. Period. You like that? Is that even grammar? Like, okay.
Should be.
I feel like a lot of the time when it comes to high school relationships, the question comes to mind of, well, if you stay in a high school relationship for all those years, how do you know if you want someone else? Like high school relationships just lead you to be with that one person and not experience anyone else. So my question for you guys is, did you ever feel like you were missing out?
Well, I guess for the record, because I don't know if you know this, but I'm not polyamorous, and neither are you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're both monogamous. So I think part of that contributes to why I don't think about if other people would make me happier.
Yeah.
Because I'm happy with this guy.
That
But that being said, I have asked Yoshi before. I've asked him this exact question. I'm like, how do you know that you don't want to try other flavors, right? Like, you've only ever. I'm his first girlfriend and his only girlfriend. I've had boyfriends before in middle school. They were bad, but
Gotta kiss a couple frogs, right?
yeah. But yeah. So how do you know?
I like if you know, like if you know, like I know for a fact that like I've become through her better at gauging how I'm feeling and kind of acknowledging that whether or not I'm happy about certain things that I like on the surface level I tell myself I am or am not about. So yeah, she's kind of taught me to dig a little deeper and like yeah, like I know for a fact that I like my happiness with her is not dwindling in the slightest. I know for a fact that there isn't like, oh, I feel unfulfilled. Oh, I don't feel valued. I feel like we've kind of stagnated. Like that's never a thought that enters my mind because I've done a lot of reflecting over the years, and I know for a fact that like I'm feeling happier with her every day. Like I know for a fact that yeah, like when someone makes you happy, and I guess that's usually my answer for her.
Oh, that's so sweet. Rabbi's face was like, ooh, we getting so much ass tonight. And like that's beautiful. I honestly think it's such an overrated concept to think that just because you are firm within your decision, that just because you had one person, it just means you have to try all these other people to get back to the same person, essentially. Because if you're learning and understanding yourself every single day and you feel like the most fulfilled with your partner, like you've mentioned, what is the point in like going after someone else or looking at other fishes in the sea? Like, I like this salmon, I'm gonna eat it. Like I just, like I have a good time with this one person.
Yes.
Like literally. What would you say your best moment was, or like your best time together? And I know there's probably 104, but like if you were to like have a trailer for your relationship, what would be the first scene?
First scene, the trailer to our relationship.
What if our best moments are different? Okay, you share your best moment if you have one, and I'll share mine.
Okay. Well, that moment in the rain, like I'm a sentimental person, so that's up there. But I feel like I need to find another. There was one time, like we were walking around a park, and we were having a political discussion.
That's mine. That's what
yours?
I was gonna say. Okay, anyway. Okay,
That's
so then
so
I'll just say
gay.
it.
You say okay.
Okay, so we have the best moment. The same best moment. Okay, so the best
that
moment
wasn't
of relationship that
scripted.
kind
That
of
wasn't scripted.
encapsulates the whole thing is
I paid them to say that.
but is we were having this really heated discussion about imperialism or something like that, and like whether or not you can be proud of the country you're from when that country is a colonizing country. Like, can you say that you're proud to be like from Israel or something like that?
Colonized country.
Colonized, or was it a colonizer country?
I think we were arguing.
No, we were talking about colonizing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we literally went out to a track and started walking in circles, like physically walking in circles, and our argument was also going in circles. Like we were circling back to the same thing. So it was like a weird alignment of like this metaphor that like was our real life.
Yeah, and like we eventually
and it was at night and like there were stars out and we were like just having this really heated discussion, which it doesn't sound like it's the most perfect moment ever. Like it doesn't sound romantic at all. But it was just like life-changing.
Yeah, it was like because sometimes we have these discussions where our minds wander just to so many places because we're both really tangential people. And there are discussions we know we've had that we don't remember anything we said because they just went in so many places. But like we were walking around this track and time flew so fast that it was kind of bright when we started and it was pitch black when we ended. And
so for
hours. And we did this. It's kind of like I chose as the best moment personally because I think it encapsulates everything I like about the way we not just argue, but the way we just discuss and like deliberate things. Like we reached this middle ground that perfectly like that perfect middle ground, like nice center between where we both started, and we kind of realized that we were both not seeing the full picture and where the other person was coming from. And we both just learned so much from that moment. And that was like that to me is like it's my favorite because it's the most literal moment of that kind of happening.
Where we're like teaching each other and making each other better.
Yes. Kind of opened the doors to what communication meant for the both of you. And like helped you guys understand each other's communication paths differently too, like no, that's beautiful. Honestly, I was expecting like another we were dancing in the stars and it started raining again. I said, oh my god, like it's crazy. Like what advice do you guys have for anyone that's in a high school relationship right now? Like if you can give like a moral of the story is blank, like what would that be?
Okay, the moral of the story
first, or
I guess the moral of the story is before you break up, take a day to think about it, and if you're still mad about it tomorrow, then maybe the breakup is warranted. But if you're not mad about it tomorrow, it doesn't matter and it's not worth it. And you're probably gonna, like 9 out of 10 times, you're probably gonna wake up the next day and it won't matter at all. Right? At least that's my experience.
I guess for me, like just to elaborate on that, or maybe not, but I guess I was gonna say, don't let external forces and external pressure dictate where your relationship goes. Communicate openly with the other person and lay all the cards on the table. And if you want to know if it can still work, have that conversation. Don't have like a middleman just kind of be like, oh, she, like actually communicate. And who knows what could happen. If it doesn't work, then maybe it wasn't supposed to, and if it works, then
and just to circle back to that we talked about earlier, don't especially if you're a woman in a relationship with a male, don't let that relationship define you completely. I know I talked a lot about how I found my identity through being in this relationship, but identity is how I identify, right? Don't let how other people perceive you. Don't let like it's kind of like thing about how I'm Yoshi's girlfriend, right? Like don't let that happen. Don't let people point to you and say, I know who she is, she's his girlfriend, kind of thing. That you should own your identity. It's yours, right? It shouldn't be something that other people decide for you.
Absolutely. And like if you play the instrument better than him, then hello, like you're the better musician. Like come on, like that's pretty much it. Oh my gosh, I want to thank you guys so much for coming on here and
thank you for having us. This was such a fun experience.
It was amazing.
Be sure to let love live within yourself and in others, because baby, you might have a relationship as good as these two. That's all what?
That's on
Echo Effect.